Really pleased with the way our guys played. We talk about it all the time, whether we're in a film session or practice session or a walkthrough or warm-ups. We're always trying to improve and get better, and we obviously felt like we did tonight. Got key contributions from a lot of guys. Played really well, played Indiana-type basketball, and we want to sustain that in order to continue to improve as we go forward.
Hey Tim, the difficulty of sustaining that, how difficult is it, or is it easy because of these guys' mental approach?
Well, I think the culture is such where every practice has the intensity of a game. Everything that we do has that type of intensity. Obviously, it starts with coach and it trickles down, but that's kind of what everybody expects every time we get together and we do things. And I think our guys know that they want to be great. In order to do that, we've got to continue to push and keep getting better and better.
It felt like Will maybe looked as comfortable offensively as he has maybe this year so far. Why was that tonight? Was it just that mid-range jumper was falling, or kind of where did that start for him?
Well, where it starts with our guys is when they feel like they haven't played well, and Will probably didn't shoot it as well as he would have liked when we played in Brooklyn. He got in the gym and he worked, and he got shots up, he shot free throws, he did all the things you have to do to try to get better, and that's the only thing we know is work, and that's what Will came in and did, and you got a chance to see it tonight. I don't think it was a surprise or anything new. That's how he plays, and he just got a little off track offensively when we played in Brooklyn and came back and worked his way out of it.
How encouraging is it to you as coaches when you see the team playing with the same defensive intensity up 40 as they would if they were up by 5?
In order to be a championship caliber program, that's the way you have to play it. You can't take any possessions off. Every possession is just as important as the last possession, and that's what we did. And the guys that are coming in off the bench, whether they're a couple of rotations down, they know that that's their time to get opportunities to play meaningful minutes, and that's what we're about. And when you don't, you come out and somebody else goes in. And you know, when Will had that situation where he turned the ball over and maybe tried to get a little too fancy with it, he went right back in the game and played the way he's supposed to, and you know, that's what we expect.
Does the second half kind of become almost like a practice in that sort of situation? And I guess that you feel like you guys got a lot out of some of the experimenting, I guess you were able to do.
I don't know if I would call it experimenting as much as we needed some work with our zone. We needed some work maybe with some different guys playing different spots because, you know, we're not at full strength right now. And so I thought Austin did a terrific job of playing post defense. Jeremy Hollowell. Jeremy did a great job of taking care of the ball, making good decisions tonight. So that was a step forward for him, and they got an opportunity to do it in game situations.
What are the biggest challenges North Carolina is going to present?
Well, they're a very good basketball team. They're coming off a loss. That always gets you a little bit more refocused. They're really good on the backboards. We've got to do a great job of rebounding the ball. You might want to bring a neck brace. I think that ball's going to be up and down the floor all night. It's going to be a very fast type of environment out on the floor, but we can't play too fast, even though we're going to be pushing the ball, and we know that they will as well. And they're a talented team, and you know, we expect their best shot, and we should give ours.
As far as bringing different lineups, you guys obviously had the one lineup out there where you didn't have necessarily a true point guard, and you had kind of Vic running the offense. What did you guys want to get out of that? Was that kind of to put, I guess, Vic specifically in a situation where he was running the offense? What did you guys want from that lineup?
Coach is really big on expanding guys' games, and you know, I think Vic's an example of not only playing on the wing but playing some point guard to expand his game. Cody, we've put Cody out on the floor. Cody's been in the post. We want those guys to be basketball players, and you know, Vic ran the pick and roll quite a bit last year toward the end of the season, so it was kind of like he was running the point, and it put him in a situation where maybe he had to be more vocal and get guys where they needed to go, and I thought that was really good for him to be in that spot.
When you're up as big as you were and you continue to press, do you try to make sure, at least to the coach after the game, the opposing coach, that, hey, this is something that we just needed to work on, or does that even need to be said?
I don't think that needs to be said. That's how we play. We go out and play the same way every time, and you know, that's how committed our guys are to playing. It's very difficult to back guys off when they're trying to get minutes and they want to play as much as the starters are playing. So, and I think that goes without saying. We went out and played. We played some zone. We mixed things up that way. But offensively, as you well know, we're always on the attack and we're trying to score the ball.
What are some areas that you think this team still needs some improvement before you get to the Big Ten?
We can always get better defensively, being in the right spots a little bit quicker, shrinking the floor on the help side, taking care of the basketball, making simple plays. Sometimes we play a little bit too fast, and we've got to gauge changing our speeds maybe a little bit more, and getting the ball inside obviously is a key. When we do that, good things happen. And we've got two guys down there that can score on the block in Christian and Cody. And also, you know, Christian right now is shooting his free throws at a high level, and we know that Cody will as the season goes on.
Jordan Hall's obviously had a really strong tournament in Brooklyn, and then it seemed to carry over tonight. What's been the key to his play recently?
I would say that he has worn that swipe card out. Coming into Cook Hall from the first day he ever came here. Jordan Hall's, you know, he does things behind the scenes that you get to see on game night, but he works every single day. And it might be 2, it might be 3 times a day that he goes in there and he works. And that's what really got the culture going. And then that comes about on game night. And it's really rewarding to see him play at that level and to see that his teammates can count on him, and he also knows that he can count on his teammates.
Coach has talked a lot about establishing identity and it being a process, but what does a win like tonight do? I mean, just doubling the opponent's field goal percentage. How is the process of establishing that identity coming along?
I think we're getting there. We want to be a tough-minded, passionate, we want to be a rebounding team. We want to be a team that shares the basketball. I think we did all of those things again tonight, but it was just one more step. And we know that tomorrow we've got to get better in practice, and we've also got to put in our preparation for North Carolina. And then on Tuesday, we've got to continue that against a very good basketball team. And that's kind of been the theme. It's one day at a time, and it started that way when we got here on April, I want to say it was April 2nd in 2008, and that hasn't wavered one bit from the time we've been here.
How does a week like this week prepare you for the rest of the season?
Well, it obviously prepares you for the Big Ten season and what that will be like. We felt like we got a little bit of that in Brooklyn too, but it was also at a neutral site. Georgia's a much better team than their record is, and they gave us their best shot that night. Georgetown, I think, is a team that's going to win a lot of games this season, and I think as their bench develops, they're going to continue to grow and be a very formidable team. North Carolina is another one of those teams that, you know, it's the next one on the schedule, and it's one we'll be ready to play. And we know that they're the type of team that if you make mistakes, they're going to capitalize on them, so you definitely don't want those mistakes to bunch up.
Coach, your ties to Ball State, is this a special game for you personally? And I'm just curious, as you prepared for the Cardinals, your thoughts on them as a program right now?
Not necessarily. It was the next game, and I have a lot of great relationships with some of the people that are still there. Joe Hernandez is here, who I consider to be a very dear and close friend. I was afforded a great opportunity by President Worthen and Andy Seeger, and I really enjoyed my time there. I learned a lot, and obviously things happen for a reason, and I think it's made me a better assistant coach. You obviously understand what the head coach is going through a little bit more than before when you aren't that head coach. So that has helped, and really honored to have an opportunity to coach and be here at Indiana with this university and the people that are here. So life's a journey, and you got to enjoy it along the way. And it was nice to see some of those special people that I had in my life when I was at Ball State that were here today.
Anything else?
Thank you.